After tossing and turning, writhing like a pig on a griddle for nights on end, I finally got knocked up. The pregnancy test stick showed 2 distinct lines, making my heart pound like a village drum. I sneaked up to my lukewarm husband, Lee Howe, and asked, "Hey, hypothetically, if you had a secret love child somewhere, what would you do?" He raised an eyebrow, gave a mocking laugh. "No chance." "Are you dreaming, babe?" I pressed. "Just suppose if you did, then what?" He reached out and pinched my cheek, saying nonchalantly, "I'd send the mother and child to hell immediately. No need for any mess." Hearing that, my face darkened, as if the power had been cut. "Well, in that case, I'll handle things myself. No need to rely on this great general of a man." Unexpectedly, the next day, Lee Howe was messing around on my phone, and his face suddenly became overcast like a storm was brewing. He squeezed my chin, his voice sweet as honey, but chilling me to the bone. "Babe, what is this pregnancy checkup appointment in your calendar? You're pregnant, aren't you?" I was speechless, wishing I could dig a hole and crawl into it. Let me briefly tell you about my dramatic background so you understand. My father, a dramatic mogul, had 6 mistresses fathering a whole basketball team, counting me as the 7th, not too tall, not too short, just floating in the middle. My mother was a third-rate actress with decent looks, but I'm truly a case of the child surpasses the father, bringing fortune to the family. I'm a premium Gen Z girl. My beauty could topple nations. I couldn't walk down the street without 8 talent scouts stopping me to ask for an audition. Since childhood, my desk drawers were stuffed with snacks and love letters. The line of my admirers stretched from the school gate to the foot of the overpass. I used to scratch my head, trying to figure out how to make those crazy fans leave me alone. But before I could figure out a solution, a major drama hit my life. My father's company went bankrupt, drowning in debt. To salvage the situation, he came up with a genius plan, marrying me off to a notorious gang boss just because I was pretty. The boss nodded his head immediately. My father was overjoyed, but my face was ashen like I'd chewed on sugarcane pulp. Now the drama is escalating. I threw the pregnancy test stick into the trash, grabbing a few crumpled tissues to cover it completely. I'm pregnant. Oh my God, what do I do now? My heart was pounding, threatening to burst out of my chest. Just then, a heavy knock sounded on the bathroom door. Lee Howe's deep, fatally sexy voice called out, "Babe, why is the door locked?" "What sneaky business are you doing in there, huh?" I panicked and lied. "I'm taking a shower." He chuckled outside the door. "Taking a shower, we've showered together a dozen times. Open the door or I'll break it down." I had no choice but to commit to the act. I stripped off my clothes, wrapped a towel around myself, and opened the door. Before I could get a good look at his face, I was pulled into an embrace as tight as a vice. Lee Howe buried his face in the top of my head. The scent of bitter orange cologne filled my nostrils, making me feel both intoxicated and annoyed. He spoke first, his voice sickeningly sweet. "Babe, that girl you saw today was my middle school classmate. She called my name, but I couldn't remember who she was. I just thought it was weird that she knew my name, so I talked to her. Nothing happened between us back in school, I swear. I've never been in love with anyone, never flirted with anyone. I didn't explain earlier because I wanted you to be a little jealous for fun. Don't be mad at me, babe." I wanted to roll my eyes. What on earth was he babbling about? I didn't have the time to be jealous of some long-lost classmate. My mind was busy calculating what to do about the baby in my belly. I replied casually, "I'm not mad," but inside I was furious. Mad as hell because I'm pregnant, you idiot. The thing is, last month for his birthday, he made all sorts of excessive demands and we were inseparable day and night. I was so exhausted that I forgot to take my birth control pill, and now here's the consequence. I tried to stay calm, hooking my arms around his neck and pretending, "It's nothing, you're just imagining things." He looked down at me, his eyes sharp as knives. "Really?" I blinked, playing it cool. Really? But he still frowned, clearly unconvinced. I was out of options, so I played my final card. I tilted my head and kissed him, my hands quickly reaching for his belt. But Li Hao pushed my hand away. His voice, annoyed. Why is it always like this? Are you trying to use sex appeal to cover something up? With that, he pushed me away and walked into the bathroom. I stared at myself blankly in the mirror. Well, my face is still as beautiful as a flower, and my figure is model perfect. It's certainly not my fault. What is wrong with him? After my shower, I went out intending to coax him. But Li Hao had already grabbed his pajamas and walked straight into the bathroom, his face stone cold. He was clearly mad, yet he dared to accuse me of being mad. What a stubborn jerk. I collapsed on the bed, bored, playing a farm game all while trying to figure out how to make up with him. He has a party tonight and messaged me to pick him up. The chauffeur could easily do this, yet he insists on me going. He probably thinks I'm too idle and wants to torment me. I drove to the club hall. The overpowering scent of perfume inside made me nauseous, so I waited outside the door. Afraid of being late, I arrived early, and now I had to wait forever. I sat squatting by the road, intently watching a column of ants carrying food. I even kindly opened a pack of cookies, bit off a few pieces, and crumbled them onto the ground for them. When the third cookie crumb was carried away by the ants, Li Hao finally dragged himself out. I looked up and saw him 1.89 meters tall, standing among the crowd like a utility pole in a field. Next to him was my father, a short 1.68 meters, smiling ingratiatingly like a hired clown. I was about to stand up when I suddenly saw a girl in a skirt rush toward Li Hao. Her voice was clear. How? Did you come to find me? You knew I was back in the country today, didn't you? I was stunned. Oh, a reunion of old flames. Here comes the drama. I squatted back down, continuing to break cookies for the ants, secretly praising my own kindness. My phone vibrated. Li Hao texted, "Babe, are you here yet?" I replied, "Here watching ants." He strode over and hugged me tightly. "Babe, I missed you like crazy." Before I could open my mouth, I saw the girl standing far away, her eyes sparkling as she watched us. I teased, "Happy to see your ex-lover." He frowned. It's nothing, babe." I interrupted, "Can we go home now? My legs are numb, I feel uncomfortable." He held my hand silent the entire drive home. Back home, I excitedly opened my online shopping packages until I opened a pack of sanitary pads and remembered with a jolt, "Oh shit, I'm pregnant." Why did I buy this? I quickly ran to the pharmacy and bought a pregnancy test kit. The result, 2 lines. I tossed and turned on the bed, looking up everything about abortion online, then booking an appointment at the nearest hospital. Once done, Li Hao stepped out of the shower. I pretended to play a game, not daring to look at him. He suddenly hugged me from behind, kissing my neck, teasingly. "Babe, you secretly looked at me 12 times just now." I faked it. "So what if I looked, I want to kiss you too." I kissed him. His lips were soft cool at first, but growing hotter with every kiss. He liked it when I was proactive, but in the end, he was always the one who held the upper hand. In a daze from kissing, I blurted out, "What do you think about children born out of wedlock?" He frowned, his eyes flashing with disgust. "That's not happening." I pressed. "But if it did, what then?" He grabbed my wrist, holding it tight. "Then I'd make the mother and child disappear." I was curious. "Disappear how?" He gave a mocking smile. "You want to know, let me do you first." With that, he ripped my nightgown. I panicked. Wait, I'm pregnant. You can't do anything wrong." I looked at him pitifully. "I'm not feeling well today. Can we try a different way?" He lifted me, his voice softening. "Where does it hurt? Are you late on your period? Let me get you some painkillers." I held his hand. "No need, I don't hurt." He rubbed my belly, his warm hand making me feel much better. I yawned and asked, "Don't you need my help?" He bit my arm. helped my head. When I woke up, I opened my eyes to see Li Hao staring intently at me, his dark eyes sharp as knives. Usually in the morning his gaze was either hungry like a wolf, or so gentle it could melt me. But today his eyes sent chills down my spine as if he was about to drag me out and slaughter me. I timidly tugged at his sleeve. How, what's wrong? Why the grim face like someone owes you money? Li Hao lifted my phone, his face expressionless. I think I answered your call this morning. I panicked, thinking, oh damn, who called that made him so furious? I racked my brain. Besides those annoying insurance calls and my father, only the nurse who takes care of my mother contacts me regularly. What could those people have said to make him angry? So what is it? He wrapped a strand of my hair around his finger, his voice hoarse. Babe, are you hiding something from me? I instinctively shook my head. What, I'm as pure as filtered water. He lifted my chin, leaning his face close, his hot breath fanning me. Then, what are these notes about pregnancy checkups and abortion appointments on your phone? Good girl, you're pregnant, aren't you? Busted, really busted. I have a habit of jotting down everything after researching for easy tracking. Yesterday, I looked up a good doctor and department online and casually typed it into my phone. Normally, Li Hao doesn't check my phone. It's full of nonsense from nail appointments to milk tea discount codes. When we first met, I was careful. But seeing that he never touched my phone, I relaxed, living innocently like a kitten. Who knew I'd jot it down yesterday and get caught today? I choked, thinking, did he secretly check before and is only revealing it now? Oh, I'm definitely doomed. I opened my mouth to deny everything. No, it's not mine. He released my hair, his rough finger pressing against my cheek, leaning so close that our noses touched, his voice frighteningly calm. Really? I used all my strength, nodding frantically. Really? It's for my cousin. She's pregnant. I immediately concocted a story about a sacred cousin N and secretly thanked her in my heart. Li Hao gave a mocking smile. Cousin N, huh? I nodded like a pecking chicken. Yeah, that's right. My cousin, since I've lied, I have to commit to it. I rattled off. You know, my cousin's marriage is a complete mess. Just awful. My dad is unstable. He forbids divorce. She's pregnant, but doesn't want to keep it. Giving birth would only bring suffering to mother and child. I don't know what I said wrong, but the smile on Li Hao's face vanished instantly. He stood up, gave a cold laugh, and walked away without another word. At breakfast, he was silent, his face icy. I started to panic. This man is mad whenever he's displeased. Total child behavior. Mad yesterday, mad again today. They say love fades after 7 years, but 3 years is already exhausting. Fine, I'll coax him a little and get it over with. I stood on my toes to fix his tie. But Li Hao was genuinely angry. He didn't even bend down to make it easier for me. I had to hug his neck, hanging onto him like a monkey. Why won't you talk to me? Why are you so angry, like you're about to cut all ties? He gently removed me, put on his watch, walked to the door and dropped a line. Figure it out yourself. I yelled after him. Figure your head out. I'm not thinking anymore. After he left, I changed clothes and rushed straight to the hospital. Running around, waiting for the results took the whole morning. Finally, I held the medical report in my hand. The result said the abortion procedure could be performed. I booked an appointment for tomorrow. I stared down at the paper full of dense data I didn't understand, only seeing the line, currently pregnant. I sighed. Oh God, I love children, but how doesn't? We have the connection, but not the fate. Deep in thought while walking, I bumped into someone. Reflexively, I apologized and tried to squeeze past, but was stopped. Chen Ngok, I've been looking for you. Who the heck is this? I looked up and saw a familiar face. Oh, the girl from yesterday. Li Hao's ex-lover. We moved to a nearby cafe. I don't like coffee, so I ordered a glass of milk. The girl ordered an iced Americano. Oh God, who has the time to drink that bitter crap? It's like self-torture. I took a sip of milk. She sat waiting for me to speak. She looked for me, but expects me to speak first. What kind of game is this? But whatever, she bought the milk, so I'll bear with it for a bit, drink it, and then leave. Seeing my silence, she spoke up. I'm Lam An Li Hao's childhood sweetheart. I nodded, taking another sip of milk. Delicious, but not as good as boxed milk. I'll stop by the store and buy a can later, she repeated. I'm his childhood sweetheart. I nodded again. Yeah, I heard you. I don't know you. Seeing I didn't react, she opened her bag, took out a check, and slid it over. I quickly counted 6 digits, 5 million. Leave Li Hao. I was stunned and asked, Are you serious? Li Hao is loaded. One gift from him is already worth more than 5 million. Where does this girl get the confidence that 5 million will make me leave? Lam An sipped her Americano, her voice flat. You deliberately arranged those chance meetings with him, wasn't it, for the money? She glared at me from head to toe, giving a sneering laugh. If Li Hao knew you had an agenda from the beginning, what do you think? Your father's company, your mother's illness, everything could be destroyed. I looked up at her for a second, then back at the check. 5 million is enough for me to spend all year, Lam An said coldly. A girl who loves money knows when to stop. I pushed the check back slowly. You don't need to worry about me. Before Li Hao gets tired of me, I'm not going anywhere. She was stunned. I sighed and recounted my life's drama. My father, to save his bankrupt company, came up with a genius plan, selling me to a gang boss. My mother is seriously ill. I just graduated. My salary is tiny and I can't help at all. After a struggle, I decided, fine, I'll be a girl who loves money. Lam An listened, her face rigid. I finished the milk, stood up. Thanks for the milk, I'm leaving. Outside, I sighed with relief, but my heart felt heavy. The baby in my belly. Li Hao sulking, and now this childhood sweetheart. Why is there so much drama? I went home, collapsed on the bed, and played my farm game to de-stress. Li Hao wasn't back yet. He must still be busy at the party. Babe, come pick me up, he texted. I dragged myself out and stood outside the hall. The overwhelming perfume made me want to throw up. After waiting a long time, Li Hao finally came out, 1.89 meters tall, standing out among the crowd. I was about to run to him when I saw Lam An appear again. She hugged him, murmuring, Hao, I missed you. I froze, thinking, not again. This girl is as persistent as a leech. Li Hao pushed her away, strode over and hugged me. Babe, did you wait long? I glared. Long as hell, and an ex-lover too. Fun, huh? He frowned. It's nothing. Don't overthink it. In the car, he was silent, and I didn't feel like talking either. Back home, I collapsed on the bed thinking about the baby, Li Hao Lam An, my dad, my mom. My head was spinning. That night, Li Hao hugged me from behind his deep voice, saying, Babe, are you mad at me? I sighed, not mad, just tired. He kissed my neck. Tell me what's making you tired. I remained silent, not daring to speak. This baby, whether to keep it or not, I have to decide myself. Li Hao is constantly sulking, and Lam An is lurking, trying to sabotage things. How can I handle all this drama? Below is the rewritten version of your story with a humorous, rambling tone, a bit of drama, and slightly vulgar language, keeping the spirit of the original story. The setting is still in China, but not directly mentioned. The characters' names have been changed. The length is about 2000 words. For the first time in my life, I was locked in a luxurious room. The door opened, and in walked a guy who looked exactly like a blobfish. I heard he was the youngest son of the Wang family, obscenely rich and spoiled rotten. He looked at me, his eyes shining brightly like headlights. He was clearly pleased, but I was utterly repulsed. The moment I saw that face, I realized not everyone can be a gold digger, especially not me, and if I had to be one, definitely not for this guy. Blobfish guy approached, his eyes sparkling as if he were about to devour me. I imagined the next scene, my face turning green, and I hastily climbed out the window to escape. Luckily, the room was only on the second floor. Luckily, I was as quick as a squirrel. I held onto the window frame, jumped down, and made a clean getaway. Back home, my father yelled like the house was on fire. "Do you know how furious young Master Wang is? Don't expect me to worry about your mother's medicine money anymore." I still have a job earning 8,000 a month, which is decent for a fresh graduate like me. But my mother's medicine costs 5 digits every month. My savings dried up long ago. My mother is severely ill. My father is busy supporting his numerous mistresses and pays no attention to my mother. If I weren't beautiful and of some exploitable value, he probably wouldn't even look at me. My father cut off all hospital funds. I sat in the hospital, leaning against the bed frame, holding my mother's hand, watching her sleep peacefully. Using some connections, I ran around everywhere borrowing money just to pay the hospital bills. But the following months were uncertain. I had to pull out the list of crazy fans who used to chase me. Unfortunately, many of them had money, but none were generous enough to spend hundreds of millions to cure my mother. I told myself, so what if he's a blobfish? As long as he has money. After a few days of internal struggle, I prepared myself and dragged myself to a party to approach the guy again. Who knew Blobfish Guy already had someone new? The girl hooked her arm through his, smiling gently, looking like a couple straight out of a movie. I even saw them kiss with my own eyes. Shocked speechless, I muttered, "Oh God, it's tough to make money this way. I feel sorry for her." "Yeah, truly a pity," a voice cut in. I turned around and saw a strange guy who seemed easy to talk to. I poured out my heart. Before I saw them kiss, I thought I could just endure it and be done with it. But excuse my vulgarity, seeing that sight just made me want to vomit. The guy nodded. "You really considered being with him?" I sighed. "Yeah, I did, but reality slapped me sober." I continued to fantasize. "Tell me, is there anyone who is handsome, rich and single, male or female? I don't care. As long as they're good looking, it's fine." "Oh no, home wrecking. I don't play that game." The guy laughed. "Rich, handsome people either don't want to date or they have issues. Who would pour money into a bottomless pit like a gold digger? Rich people aren't stupid." I sighed, praying that the next rich target wouldn't be uglier than Blobfish Guy. The guy spoke up again. "I know someone. Let me introduce you." My eyes lit up. "Who introduced me? I'm very pretty. Everyone's praised me since I was little. If it works out, I'll pay you a commission." Before I could see his face, I only noticed his back. Wow, he's tall. I'm 1.68 meters. He must be 1.88 meters. I looked up and was stunned. He was drop-dead gorgeous, the kind who stepped out of an idol drama. He bent down, looking straight into my eyes, and smiled. "Miss Chen, would you consider me?" Before I could react, that smile made me swoon. And so we got together. Of course, my thick-headed father, realizing I had snagged a gem like Li Hao, immediately repeated his old trick, wrapping me up and offering me to him on a platter. This time, I didn't run away, but that's a story for later. Lam An, who knows where she got her rumors, was completely wrong. Li Hao knew I came to him for money, but he didn't care. When a person is filthy rich, spending a little money for fun is nothing. All the troubles that had given me headaches were neatly resolved by him. My mother received better, more expensive medicine and was even operated on by a top specialist. My mother's tumor was in a dangerous location. Doctors previously said it couldn't be surgically removed, only managed. Yet Li Hao managed to invite a top-tier surgeon. The surgery was completed earlier this year, and my mother is recovering well. For Li Hao, it might be a small matter, but for me, it's everything. He is a super good man. Before he gets tired of me, I'm not going anywhere. Lam An threatened to tell Li Hao everything. Let her. The baby in my belly is the same. I like children, but Li Hao doesn't. Then I'll get rid of it. I won't let it ruin our relationship. Thinking about Li Hao's cold reply yesterday and his disgusted look this morning, I placed my hand on my belly and sighed. Your father doesn't like you. What a pity. Lam An threatened to reveal the truth. I didn't care. I stopped by the supermarket to buy groceries and went home to cook dinner to soothe him. I grew up near the sea and prefer mild flavors, but I learned Li Hao's taste. Living with him is comfortable, except for his habit of constantly sulking. I fried 2 eggs, pan-fried a fish, and planned to make fish soup. The clay pot bubbled. The soup was milky white and smelled wonderful. I added the fried eggs, covered the pot, and prepared the stir-fried greens. Li Hao returned, but unlike usual, he didn't rush over to hug me, kiss me, and say, "Babe, I'm home." He only glanced at me, his face cold. He's really mad. I stir-fried shrimp with the greens and brought the dishes to the table. Li Hao still helped carry the heaviest dish, the fish soup pot. I served him rice, looking at him expectantly. "How is it delicious?" He kept his voice steady. "Do you know what you did wrong yet?" I was confused. Did wrong, I forgot what it was. I whispered hesitantly. "Give me a hint, honey." He glared coldly, lowered his head, and ate his rice. "Just eat first, or it'll get cold." I scooped a bowl of fish soup and took a sip. Oh God, it's terribly fishy. I glanced at Li Hao. He was eating normally. I tried to swallow, but it was too fishy. I wanted to vomit. I put my spoon down, losing my appetite. Li Hao didn't pay attention, which annoyed me even more. Fine, I'll try to drink a little more soup. Before I could drink, he snatched the bowl and spoon. "If you don't want to eat, don't force it." He was so aggressive. He wouldn't even let me eat my rice. I pouted, feeling down. "Good girl," he said, stroking my head, his voice softening. "You're pregnant. Being sensitive to smells is normal. If you don't like it, don't swallow." He picked up a piece of tofu for me. "You've eaten too little. Have something else." I shook my head, not wanting to eat. He picked me up and placed me on his lap, whispering, "Good girl. Open your mouth, I'll feed you." Li Hao's voice, sweet as honey, gave me goosebumps. I looked down at the tofu, muttering, "I made it myself. It's supposed to be excellent, perfect in color, smell and taste." He took the first bite immediately, praising, "Babe, you're so good. Eat it all." I glared. "You're overpraising me as if you're doing something shady, not eating." The atmosphere started to heat up. I hugged his neck and whispered, "Honey, I want to eat something else. Will you feed it to me?" He laughed and immediately put a piece of black pepper beefsteak into my mouth. After eating, I suddenly realized something was wrong. What did Li Hao say earlier? I stared at his back as he cleared the dishes. Waiting for him to load the dishwasher, I sneaked up behind him, wrapped my arms around him, and pressed my cheek against his back. "Honey, are you still mad at me?" He turned around, his voice cold. "Don't call me honey." Oh, he's truly mad. Usually he begs me to call him honey, but now that I've called him that voluntarily, he forbids it. Li Hao suddenly pressed close, pinning me against the kitchen wall. A strong, passionate kiss descended so intense that my eyes watered before he finally let me go. He said hoarsely, "Don't call me honey, especially when you're pregnant. Unless you want me to do, you right here be a good girl." I blinked confused. "Is that all?" He grabbed my chin. "Good girl, what else do you want?" I didn't answer, just leaned against his chest and asked softly, "When did you know?" Li Hao was blunt. "I know everything about you. Chen Ngok canceled that abortion appointment." "You didn't know why I was angry all day, and you still dared to book an abortion appointment. Do you think I wouldn't lose my temper?" I mumbled, feeling down. "But you said you don't like children. I was just doing what you wanted." He lifted me and placed me on the kitchen counter, his hands stroking my belly. It was slightly bulging, probably from eating too much, not the pregnancy yet. He said solemnly, "Chen Goch, you should have asked me I'm pregnant. Should we keep it? Not ask what if you had a child out of wedlock." I turned my face away and mumbled, "It's the same thing." He lifted my face, forcing me to look straight at him. "It is not the same. Our child is legitimate, not a child out of wedlock." He leaned his forehead against mine, his voice suddenly sharp. "You, Chen Angok, have never even considered marrying me." I flinched, avoiding his gaze. "Well, I haven't really thought about it." I whispered, "Didn't you just come to me because I'm pretty? I'm 25 now. I'm young, but later there will be younger women. You're handsome and rich. Just a wave of your hand, and women will flock to you like Laman, for instance. I also have plenty of admirers. Some classmates still text me suggestively. But you're richer than me. Who wouldn't be captivated?" I sighed. "Attraction based on looks. If it happens once, it will happen again. If we marry, I'm afraid I can't handle you cheating and the constant arguments. It's too exhausting." Li Hao squeezed my chin gently, his voice even. "So you mean you can tolerate it now?" I bit my lip. "The last time I saw you with Lam An, I was angry, but I wasn't allowed to be angry. You're good to me, you've helped me so much. I don't have the right to be mad." He sighed, tucking a loose strand of hair behind my ear. "Babe, apologize to me for being jealous. I'm happy when you're jealous because of me." I was confused. "Why is that?" He bent down to kiss me, whispering, "Because I love you." He continued, "I like our child. Don't abort it. I was angry not because you're pregnant, but because you hid it from me and planned to get an abortion yourself." He concluded, "If I let you figure things out, you'll never get it right. The more you think, the more wrong you'll be." I asked if you were pregnant. "Why did you deny it?" I shrunk into a ball, crawling into the corner of the sofa, covering my ears. "Don't scold me, I'm very sensitive." He gently removed my hands. I looked at him pitifully. I can't even cover my ears. I absolutely have to listen, I thought to myself. If I cry from being scolded, I'll sneak off and cry alone. He softened his voice. "I won't scold you." I was surprised. "Really?" He nodded. "Really?" I looked at him for a long time, making sure he wouldn't scold me. Then I hugged his neck. "You won't scold me, you're a good person?" He lifted me, clicked his tongue. "Where did you learn to casually hand out good person certificates? Tell me, how many people have you given that to?" I denied it immediately. "Only you." He said coldly, "Really, I personally saw you say that to 3 other people." I choked. He placed me on the bed, pulled a pen from his pocket, and the tip of the pen traced my collarbone. I looked down. He was drawing 2 oranges on my skin. He admired his work and smiled. "Babe, this is the 2nd time you've lied to me. For every lie, you have to agree to a few conditions." "Deal?" I stuttered. "What conditions?" He spoke, his voice serious. "Trust me more. I'm sorry for not giving you enough security." I was confused, not knowing where to start. He led the way. "What did you do today? Who did you meet?" I was about to lie, but looking into his eyes, I couldn't. I hesitated. "I went to the hospital and met your childhood sweetheart." He frowned. I panicked. "No, not childhood sweetheart. Lam An. She said she was your childhood sweetheart. I was just repeating it. I didn't really believe it. Actually, I did believe it. But I remembered he had once said Lam An was just a middle school classmate, and he didn't even remember her name." I looked up. "You told me to trust you. Do you trust me too?" He gently squeezed my cheek, his eyes smiling. "Yes, I do." I meekly confessed. "Laman gave me 5 million and told me to leave you." He asked, "Did you agree, babe?" I shook my head. "Of course not." He patted my head. "Finally, you did one thing right. You must be rewarded." I hesitated. "Can the reward be not physical?" His rewards usually left me wondering who was the one actually being rewarded. My face flushed. "At least, wait until after the 1st trimester. Okay, early pregnancy requires caution." He chuckled. "Babe, you always think the worst." He lifted my phone, showing a bank message, 5 million received. Do you want it? If not, give it back to me. I jumped up, hugged him, and kissed him repeatedly. Want it? Of course I want it. I hugged Li Hao tightly, tearfully. Want it so much. You really are a good person. He held me so I wouldn't fall. Chuckled. Babe, I want to hear you say one more thing. He looked at me intently. I backed away and mumbled, I love you too. He nodded, pointed at the orange he drew on my collarbone. This orange represents what I want. You have to trust me more. I thought back and realized I was really slow to catch on. Li Hao tells me everything he does without hiding anything. He answers every question, from small things, like who he had lunch with, to big things like signing contracts. On Sunday after lunch, we sat in the study. Li Hao was reading, wearing gold-rimmed glasses. The chain swinging, he looked like a captivating scholar from a movie. But he hadn't turned the page the entire time. He swallowed, asked, Babe, are you having fun? I smiled widely. Keep reading, honey. He loosened his tie, turned a new page, his eyes red veins popping on his forehead, but his voice was still sweet. Yes, reading now. I was done playing, so I burrowed into his arms and saw that the book had only turned 2 pages. I scolded him. Why aren't you reading seriously? Don't do that next time. He intertwined his fingers with mine. Babe, wait until the baby is born. Wait until the baby is born. He's said this 100 times. I'm used to it and not scared anymore. Future Chen Ngok can worry about the future. For now, I'm safe. At worst, he can only force me into a long kissing session. Seeing that I was done playing, he pulled out a thick album. All right, choose the wedding decoration style. Which one do you like? I was dazzled by the colorful designs. This one's beautiful. That one's great too. I blurted out, how about we get married, get divorced and get married again multiple times to try them all? Li Hao glared. Adding another count to the ledger? I shrugged. Whoops, just kidding. His second condition was that we had to get married. We haven't had the ceremony, but we already registered our marriage. One ordinary day more ordinary than not, he woke me up. Babe, let's go out. I was groggy, my mind fuzzy. He carried me into the bathroom and helped me brush my teeth and wash my face. Where are we going? I yawned. He said nonchalantly, You'll see later. Who knew he'd drive straight to the Civil Affairs Bureau? I stood at the entrance, confused. Is this where we're going out? He nodded, his face unchanged. Since we're here, we might as well get the deed and title too. Mai man gaido, kongchiko, dan ki ket hon. Chilau dan toi di hai kam? Toi hai de jiolena makwa. Kam got lip ning na ngonshu. Toi duanua kwa kon lai, jolly how. Lao kan mot mi en koi be can be an matroi. I yelled, don't eat it. I snatched the orange back, but he had already devoured it. I jumped at him. You didn't save any for me. He caught me firmly. It's all gone. The little orange has been swallowed by me. I pouted. Hateful you ate the orange, not me. After playing all day, I was exhausted and fell asleep, leaning on his shoulder. The warm autumn sun made me sleep deeply. I dreamt of being 17, walking with a book through the path of my high school. Ripe oranges hung from the branches. I reached out to pick one and accidentally touched someone's finger. In reality, I would apologize and walk away. But in the dream, I looked up and saw a familiar face. He looked slightly younger and smiled. Chen Ngok, do you remember me? Then the dream changed. At the party, I was secretly watching a couple, the pretty girl and the blobfish guy, young Master Wang. I followed them and Li Hao followed me. Suddenly, I stopped, completely shocked to see them kissing. I muttered, making money this way is hard. I really can't do it. He cut in and started a conversation. And I learned that I had once considered chasing blobfish guy for money. He suggested, why don't you consider me? I thought he was captivated by my beauty, but I was wrong. It turns out I had forgotten him. When I was little, I lived with my mother in a town in the south. In the apartment complex, There was a quiet boy everyone avoided. My sister often talked to him. "Hey brother, want some candy?" "My mum bought a big bag, it's very sweet." Or, "Hey brother, my mum made cookies, try some." And, "Hey brother, I picked this orange from the garden, it's super delicious." My name is Chen Gok. Ngok means orange, that's me. I knew everyone in the neighborhood. Even people and dogs passing by were dragged into my circle. Li Hao was just one of them. I had completely forgotten. In my dream, he kissed my forehead and whispered, "Babe, call me husband." I mumbled, "Stop messing around. I'm sleepy." In the gentle autumn night, I slept peacefully in his arms, dreaming of a family with him and our unborn child.